Hello beautiful people, hope you're having an amazing day. You are a star. Don't let anybody dim your light. It is another gorgeous, sunny, beautiful, blissful day. We are at Byron, okay? Byron, New South Wales, Sydney. Check out all this amazing nature. Look at these beautiful trees, the ocean. Look at the big lighthouse and the big hill up there. So good to be here. I'm so thankful to be here. I hope your day is really, really good. Today we're going to talk about the film Bullet Train, okay? More so, okay, on the subject of, does luck exist? Does luck exist, okay? Because a lot of the film had a lot of metaphors and things about faith and destiny, and I wanted to touch on those subjects, okay? And ask you guys and share my own experiences with, you know, luck and free will and destiny. You know, is it real? Does it exist? Okay, and share my thoughts and opinions on it. I want to hear yours as well. Drop a comment down below. What do you think? Now, the film was absolutely great. It had some amazing actors in there, and you know, it was a very good concept on, you know, on how faith, okay, is created, and you know how destiny is sometimes out of our control, right? And towards the end, they started to speak more about that metaphorically. And you know, upon reflection, I looked up like my own life, and I have a lot of people who talk about this kind of subject. And you know, sometimes you gotta ask yourself, is there free will, okay, or is everything set in stone? Now, in my opinion, I think, well, I believe we do have free will, but some things you just don't have real control over, right? Like, for example, you don't control the way a tree grows, right? You can change its direction, right? This is one thing that I always try and tell people, right? You can change its direction, right? You can maneuver it towards this way, but at the end of the day, it's gonna create the same branches, the same sort of leaves, okay? The same sort of formation, right? But you cannot change its programming, right? In the same way that this whole thing, this whole matrix is a program, right? So for example, you might be destined to be with someone, right? You might be destined to be with a person, right? And you know, your ego gets in the way, like, I'm not meant to be with this person, or you might have some issues that you still got to work with, or you might have some lessons you have to still work with, but you keep bumping into this person until you have a lesson that you got to fulfill, right? So much like in the movie, right? I won't spoil it all for you, but there was a few things where, for example, anytime this person would, for example, do something, bad luck would happen to him, right? Now, what is luck? Okay, what is luck? Now, luck is just a concept on how sometimes negative things happen to us, right? It's this idea that, you know, bad things always happen to us. Now, I'm a big believer in that you are what you attract, right? So if you are feeling negative, you know, and you do one thing wrong, right? And then momentum builds and it keeps going and going and going, and then you call it a bad day, right? But ultimately, it was because you were not in the right mindset to change. Instead of looking at it as, I'm having a bad day, you could have said, I'm having a bad moment, right? And then change your perspective and realize, okay, it was just a moment, and you can shift that whole reality into something more positive, right? And make it go your way, because ultimately, everything is always going your way, right? It is always going your way, whether it's bad, good, right? Things are always going your way, right? So this character in the movie always had bad things happening to him, but then the mentor was suggesting that all these bad things, you are taking these bad things from other people, which is in turn makes it a good luck in a way, right? So there's always perspective to it. There's always perspective to the things that you go through, right? There was a one quote that my friend and I spoke about after watching the film, right? There's a story about how this person goes on the line of, like, you know, this person broke his leg, and then he said, oh no, like, that's terrible. He goes, maybe, right? He goes, maybe. And then next moment, you know, the army comes and they say, hey, we need your son to come, we need your son to go to the army. But he couldn't go because his leg broke, right? And then they said, oh, how good, your son doesn't have to go to the army. He goes, that's amazing. And then they go, maybe, right? And then it carries on and says, it keeps going. It's like, you know, every situation is like, oh, it's maybe. And we label things as bad or good based on the perspective that we have at that moment, right? There is no good or bad. There is no negative or positive. These are just polarizing things that we label and create, right? To differentiate, to create contrast in this three-dimensional world, right? Ultimately, we are what we attract, okay? We are what we attract. If we're feeling good, if we're feeling magnetic, we're feeling non-attached, we're gonna attract more incredible situations, okay? Versus if we're feeling very down, sluggish, feeling sorry for ourselves, victimized, we're gonna create more bad situations because we're not in the right mind frame to execute or be in a state where we can have more opportunities that's gonna help us evolve, right? So is there bad luck? Is there such thing as negative or positive? Is there such thing as these things? Of course, you know, you got a lot of people that talk about the evil eye, you know, voodoo, things like that. I truly believe that there is a lot of magic. There is a lot of magic that exists, right? We can telepathically send messages to other people, right? You got to remember that your cells are listening to everything that you are thinking, saying, and consuming, right? So anytime you are feeling a certain way, you got to remember your body's going to feel that too, right? Anytime you put negative things to other people, they're going to feel it too, right? So try not to be so harsh on yourself. Try not to be so critical on yourself, right? Because your body's going to start to change as you change. Have you ever noticed that when you are glowing, it's because so many things are happening for you, whether you're getting paid, you're getting laid, you're eating well, right? All these things, they start to add up, right? But the moment you change your mindset, everything starts to take effect, right? So, you know, yes, certain things happen, like there's certain faith that is concreted into your purpose, into your plan, right? And the universe has always got a plan. The universe has always got something for you, right? Whether it's to do a certain job, whether it's to fill us a certain role, right? Whether it's a certain mission, okay? You got to tune back in and discover what it is that you are here to do, right? One thing the ancient Egyptians would always say, know thyself, right? A beautiful proverb, know thyself. So when it comes to free will, destiny, yes, some things are out of our control. Everything is happening in divine order. Like, for example, I know with my certain experiences, I always had certain synchronicities with certain people and they just kept coming back into my life, right? I think about them, they turn up, okay, I think something bad will happen. So you got to be careful of how powerful the mind is, right? Your mind is like a radio, okay? Your mind is like a radio. Whatever you tune into, right, you start to tune out to, right? So the world will mirror exactly what you think and feel, right? So be very mindful. You know, are you meditating? Are you eating well? These things are going to take an effect on how you live your life, right? So ground yourself, you know, get your feet into the soil, get your feet into nature. Exercise. Exercising is very grounding, right? This is going to help you change your luck, right? If you want to change your luck, if you want to change your destiny, if you want to create more positive outcomes, okay, start to be mindful of what you consume, okay? What you produce, what you allow into your reality, right? Don't always have to be consuming social media, the news, okay, junk food, so much alcohol, drugs, right? Start cutting it down, start placing more value on you, because you're worthy of amazing things. You are worthy of a fucking beautiful life like this. What a fucking blessing, what a blessing. Let me know, what do you think? How do you change your luck? Can you change your luck? Is there such thing as luck? Is there such thing as faith? Is there such thing as destiny? I know a lot of people can tap into the Akashic Records, which is like a library, right, for the certain timelines of everything. This life is so multi-complex, right? Nothing's truly set in stone. You can literally change your direction in life whenever you want, right? At any given point, any given time, you can change your destiny, right? Because we're multi-dimensional beings, right? And there are so many different universes that you can literally tap into and live accordingly, because you decided to tap in and change that frequency like a fucking radio station. Remember, you are player one. You are the main character of your fucking film, okay? Let me know, what do you think, okay? If you have got any questions, drop them down below or add us on Instagram. What videos do you want to see? Okay, Daniel John Allen, okay, and Snapchat as well. If you haven't joined the TikTok family, join us at Daniel J Allen, all right? And if you need help with your training, okay, your mindset and nutrition, okay, check out the services, guides, and programs at danieljohnallen.com, okay? I fucking appreciate you. I'm gonna go for a long walk, get some exercise, enjoy these beautiful, beautiful views. I appreciate you. Keep rising, stay woke, blessed, and alkalized. Peace out. Let's go, baby.